What's up, everyone? I hope the lighting isn't too terrible right now. So the basis of this video is basically my leg workout. It actually went really well. It was one of those where I was exhausted and it was hard, but it felt so good. So I think, yeah, for this I mixed going heavy with also doing some supersets to burn out my muscles. I focused more on glutes and quads in this one. I am quad dominant, but I do want bigger quads as well. As I think I've said before, I'm trying to grow my legs again. So yeah, I pretty much always do like simple staple exercises. I have been adding the bands more to stuff to help with my glutes. I don't know, I keep looking out the window. And I don't know, mixing up a little bit, but I like to keep things simple. I don't like to have to think too hard when I'm working out, because if I make things too complicated, too many different steps to remember, I focus more on trying not to forget what I'm doing instead of doing things properly. I don't know if anyone else can agree with that, but that's just the way I am. I can't have things too complicated. So with that said, I will let you go through that, and I am going to walk through again. I'll try to think of some different things, like, you know, for squats and hip thrusts and stuff. It's like I've done them before, I've talked about them before, but I'll see if I can come up with something different, just so you're not getting the same cues. Like maybe, you know, some other tip would help you personally. So I'll try to figure that out. Then I will go back to work. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend. It's finally Friday. It's Friday. We're going out tonight. Great. Okay, so yeah, watch this video, give it a thumbs up if you find it helpful, and subscribe for more videos. I do mostly workout videos. You know, I do work on top of doing this. So if there's any kind of other videos you want, like Q&As, or I do some tip videos, whether something is food related, please let me know in the comments below. There's no point me doing this if I'm not showing you guys what you want to see. So yeah, let me know and have a good weekend. So I like to start my workouts with a heavy compound movement like this once I've warmed up. I think I hit pretty good parallel depth with these. My problem with this squat rack is that these safety bars are a little bit too high, so if I'm not careful I bump into them. But my main thing with squats is keeping everything tight and doing everything with purpose, basically. A trick that I learned a long time ago was if you squeeze your hands around the bar, it really helps you to keep tight everywhere else, kind of without even thinking about it as much. So when you go down, even if you don't go past parallel, you really want to feel the stretch in your glutes, and then basically push the floor to stand up. Like straighten your legs and almost push the floor away like you would in the leg press, instead of just thinking about standing up, because this will help you use your legs and your glutes to really push the weight instead of just trying to stand up, in which case you might use more of your lower back. So next we have the hip thrust again, which is another heavy compound movement. You want to have your feet slightly wider than hip width, with your toes pointing out and your knees following your toes. I have been using the band around my knees to use a part of my glute that will hold my knees out, just for extra emphasis. And I want you to not do what I'm doing in a way. I don't want you to hyperextend your back as I'm kind of doing. You want to keep your back more neutral. However, when I do that, I push the bench. I need to push it against something. But yeah, pause at the top and really try to go as slow as you can. So next I got onto the leg press machine, and I started out with I think 12 with this wider stance. So I had my toes pointed about 45 degrees out and as far away from each other as I could, and I tried to really go down slowly and really feel a good stretch in my glutes and hamstrings with a slight pause at the bottom and then slowly push up. So this will help just with your glutes slightly more than your quads. So that's why I paired it with the close foot leg press. So I went straight into, I think, 12 more of these, and I did use a lighter weight for this because I knew I was doing basically 2 sets in one. This really burned. But again, don't lock your knees out at the top. That's really important. Lastly, I got onto this squat machine. I don't know if there's a different name for it, but I started doing it this way to try to feel more of a stretch in my glutes, because having my back on the pad, I really only feel it in my quads. So I had my feet as wide as I possibly could on the platform with my toes pointed out, and feel the stretch in your glutes and keep your core and your back strong. You don't want to just completely let it go just because you're not holding a bar. So stretch in your glutes and then push up. And then after I did 15 of these, I went straight into pulse squats with a band, you'll see after, just to really burn out my glutes as much as possible, and trust me, it worked.